Welcome. I'm Bob Burke, Chair of the Libertarian Party, Pierce St. Croix. Today I'd like to talk to you about the importance of truth and justice. To be clear, I supported the red team from start to finish, and 9/11 was one of the hardest paradigm shifts for me to make. To help facilitate your conscious understanding of what you haven't been told, I want to start by introducing you to this woman. Ladies and gentlemen, former CIA operative Susan Lindauer.
I have waited 10 years to tell this story. I'm going to take you back to November of 2000. They had not yet declared that George Bush had won the election. I was having meetings with the full knowledge and permission of the CIA with the Iraq's ambassador to the United Nations on resuming the weapons inspections. And I can tell you that in April of 2001, I was summoned to my CIA handler, Dr. Richard Fuse, and he said he had a message for me to deliver to New York at the earliest possible convenience. And the message was this: we are looking for information on a conspiracy to hijack airplanes. We expect the target to be the World Trade Center. We think they're going to fly the airplanes into the World Trade Center. And we want the Iraqis to provide it's called actionable intelligence.
All of her records should be subpoenaed, as well as those of her boss and her boss's boss. Data like this doesn't just disappear. Do you want it subpoenaed? I really want it subpoenaed. What if she told you that less than 60 days out, they knew that it was not only imminent, but they knew it was planes and it was the World Trade Center? Listen for yourself.
And then in August of 2001, we went into high activity mode. On August 2nd was the Senate nomination hearings for Robert Mueller to head the FBI. He was going to be the FBI director. And I was on the phone with my CIA handler, Richard Fuse, and I said, there's not one single terrorism investigation this man hasn't thrown. He threw the Oklahoma City bombing investigation. He threw Lockerbie. And I said, this man should not be the FBI director when this next attack occurs. And Richard Fuse said to me, my God, what if there is no FBI director when this happens? I said, do you think it's that soon? Do you think the attack is imminent? He said, oh yeah. He said, it's absolutely just in the next couple of weeks.
On the question of validity of her testimony, I'm willing to go all in on new hearings. This time, however, I want to hear from Senator Trent Lott and John McCain, whose offices she visited, which clearly represented a problem for the official storytellers.
I ended up getting indicted on the Patriot Act. And my crime was in opposing terrorism and going to Congress, and I had spoken to the staff of Senator John McCain and Senator Trent Lott, and I had pounded them. And I said, I'm an asset who covered Iraq and Libya at the United Nations, and I have a story to tell, and you need to hear what I have to say. Within 30 days of those conversations, I woke up to hear the FBI pounding at my door. And the FBI agent said, you are Susan Lindauer, you are hereby notified, you are under arrest on the Patriot Act. That began a 5-year indictment.
9/11 was a very sad day for America. There's a phenomenon I want to draw your attention to that came out of 9/11, which most people don't know about. There was a baby boom about 9 months later, with New York City being the epicenter. Those children entered the 6th grade this year. These were, in many ways, the children of a new age. The Patriot Act has truly defined the world for these children. This Patriot Act, designed to protect us from terrorists, however, was what was used on Susan Lindauer. Here is how an American citizen describes it when it was used against her.
And it was like the Patriot Act was so hideous, so big, so powerful, that there was nothing that they were going to let it break through. It was never taken to trial. In 5 years, I was allowed one morning of testimony with 2 witnesses. The 2 witnesses were a former chief of staff for a congressional member of Congress, and my old friend Park Godfrey, who verified the 9/11 warnings. And I was the test case on this, and it was horrible. And they wanted to lock me up and forcibly drug me at the same time, so that I would be so destroyed. They told the judge that they had no idea how long my cure was going to take?
Ladies and gentlemen, when I sent my letter to Congressman Duffy requesting he vote no on the National Defense Authorization Act, it was because I had learned not to trust the mainstream media's story. That now law was rumored at the time to be grounds for holding a Pakistani American without trial. Listen, friends, Pakistani American or not, once a legal and constitutional American, we need to defend their constitutional rights. I have more questions and videos on 9/11 that I'll be posting throughout the day. And stick with me. To close the day, I'm going to present a video called A Wonderful CIA World. You really need to stick around to see that video. A final note. I bought and I wore this tie for the first anniversary of 9/11 to memorialize and show that I cared for both the lost and the country that mourned. When I took it off, I decided not to wear it again until I thought the time was right. And you know what? I think today is right. And I'm going to be joining the 4 p.m. rally here in Hudson wearing this tie. Because this is the day that I have reopened my commitment to the 3,500 people that died that day. A commitment to care first about truth and justice, and second about everything else, because even my party and country should not be set above truth and justice. The Bible tells me that. And come to think of it, the idea is really starting to get around.